Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside,
Hello, hello,
inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow,
good evening.
the promise, the future and life. Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world, whole world.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let the
Share this
dawn of a
live.
new day
You're welcome.
bring understanding and love. Oh, inside.
Hello, hello, hello. Favor, good evening. I see you. Ernestina, I see you. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. I hope you're good. Yeah. 3TM, you're welcome. Help share this live, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Wow, do I pronounce this one? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining.
Let the dawn of a new day
Imoles, thanks for joining.
Oh, inside.
Welcome guys. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. Okay. Say soon. Thanks for liking the live already. Thank you from my heart. Juliana, thanks for joining. Juliana, help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of Inside today. Always on Thursdays, we talk about marriages and relationships. Eniola, thanks for joining. I see you.
Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Thank you.
Oh, inside.
Alexandra, I see you. Thanks for joining. You're welcome. You're all welcome. Thank you for liking the live, Favor. I really appreciate that. Favor, help me share to your friends. Let them be part of this live today. The more the merrier, as they say.
Rainbow, the promise, the future and life.
I see you. Thanks, Mila, for price. Good evening. Cosmila. I don't know why your name kind of shows two different names. I see Mila for Christ and I see Cosmila. So I hope it's the same person because the same picture.
Inside.
Thank you guys for joining. You are welcome. I hope our day has been good, not too tiring. Or if your day is just starting, well, wish you well for the day. Wow. Thanks, Shazi. I see you. Thanks for joining. Orobeyi, thanks for joining. I see you. Please help share the live. Help share the live. The more the merrier. Thank you so much for joining. I see you. Yeah. Chrissy, thanks for joining. Yes, good evening. Bukumi, I see you. Thanks for joining. Help share the live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. It's on Thursdays here on Insight with FunmiRoyal. I talk about marriages and relationship or marriage relationships. And if you're aspiring to get married, if you're hoping to get married, or you're engaged to be married, I think you should pull up your chair and sit down. Let's talk about things, because there's certain issues that we probably, don't think about. And then when we enter into the marriage relationship, all sorts, life start throwing all sorts to us. So let's be part of this talk today. Thank you so much. I'm encouraging you, share the live, invite some friends, let them be part of this talk today. And well, it's about 5 past the hour. So I'm just going to go into the talk as usual and try to expand it so we have an understanding. And long distance marriage, we hear of it. It's always been, it is, and will forever be, I guess. But then how do we navigate this such that we still have a good quality marriage relationship? So we're going to be delving into that today, expanding it, looking at the pros, the cons, the good side to it, the bad side to it, benefits of it, and all of that. So we're going to be breaking it down today. So guys, I'll give my talk, and of course I have my puzzle back today. Last week I brought this puzzle, nobody could get it, so I gave us a whole week to go and Google and search and all of that. So I hope somebody will bring the answer today. So in about an hour's time or thereabout, I'm going to be telling us what the puzzle is. And if you get the right answer, you get to have the gift for today. So please invite your friends to be part of this talk today. And perhaps maybe your friend might get the gift and they might maybe share some of it with you. I don't know. Thembakani, thanks for joining. You're welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal this lovely Thursday. It's 8:07 here in the United Kingdom. I don't know where you're joining in from. If it's morning, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whichever one, or good day to you. Thank you so much for joining. So like I said, I'm going to be going into this talk, and at the end of my talk, I want to hear our opinion about this matter, because people might be listening in and they're probably in this situation right now, and maybe things are not going too well. A thing or two we will share here might just be, some sort of help to any couple, in a long distance marriage. Oh, you're in UK. That's good. I'm in UK as well. So we're about the same time now. I know some people are maybe 1 hour behind or 1 hour ahead. I know some parts of US is about 5 hours behind, and all of that time zone. But you know what? It's amazing. Thank you so much for joining in. Help share the live as I carry on with the talk today. So today's topic is long distance marriage. Long distance marriage. And I'm going to be breaking it down, like I said. So just like a way of introduction into it, long distance marriages are becoming increasingly common in today's globalized world. We know there's a lot going on. Couples, getting married. Maybe one gets a job abroad or in another state, maybe still in the same country, but they're not together. There's a whole lot of dynamics to it. So couples find themselves separated by geography due to various reasons, such as career opportunities, educational pursuits, some military service, or even family obligations, and so many other reasons why people find themselves in a long distance relationship. Minel, thanks for joining. You're welcome to Insight. Please help share to your friends to be part of this talk. Thank you so much. So while these marriages come with unique challenges, they also offer, opportunities for growth, resilience, and depending on the couple, it can also deepen their level of commitment to one another. Martha, you're welcome. So in this talk today, we're going to be exploring the dynamics of long distance relationship, long distance marriage. This one is not boyfriend and girlfriend, mind you. We're talking about husband and wife. Marius Vesta, thanks for joining. So the challenges couples face, we're going to talk about it, strategies for maintaining a healthy relationship, and the potential benefits of enduring such a partnership, relationship, or marriage relationship. We're talking about long distance relationship or long distance marriage. Yeah, it's marriage really, because sometimes there's a difference to it when you're maybe just dating and it's two different nations or two different states, so it's different. But now you're married as husband and wife, and for whatever one of these reasons I've mentioned, you've had to live apart, and how do you manage all of that transition and all that comes with it as well? So let's talk about it today in case you find yourself in it. Is it working? Is your long distance marriage, is it working so far? Are you struggling, in that marriage? Are you just about fed up? You want more, or there's just a lot of dynamics to it. So let's sit and talk about it, because God's intention, like I say, is for husband and wife to live together, live in peace. Yes, I changed time. I've been running the promos now, 8 p.m. on Mondays and 8 p.m. on Thursdays. Due to so many logistical reasons, I just have to push it ahead. So I've been doing this now for a couple of weeks or more. But thanks for joining. I hope you're good. Oh, it's 9 p.m. So yeah, plus 2.5 hours with that, 11:30. But it's fine. I do understand. If you have to go to bed, I do understand. But thanks for joining. Anyways, help share to your friends. Some people might wonder, how do you share easily? The easiest way to share right now is just click on your screen and hold it for a second, and then you see names pop up. Just send it to them and let them be part of this talk. Yeah, okay, maybe that's why you've missed it. Yeah, it's I have 1 or 2, 3 videos on my page, just to let people know that the time has moved. So both days is now 8 p.m. UK time. Thanks. Sasha, you're welcome. I see you. Mary, I hope you're good. I hope that side of the earth is treating you well. So thanks for joining. So I'm going to be looking at, like I said, the challenges couples face, strategies for maintaining a healthy relationship, and the potential benefits of, enduring such partnership as well. We're talking about long distance relationship or long distance marriage. I don't know why I keep saying relationship. We're looking at marriage now, because this is till death do you part, for in goodness, in badness, or whatever, all those talks. So let's try to understand this long distance relationship I'm talking about. So a long distance relationship is one where spouses live in different locations, often far apart, for an extended period, because it's not supposed to be a permanent arrangement or a permanent situation. Maybe an extended period could last weeks, months, could be a couple of years here and there, but it's not supposed to be a permanent thing, because husband and wife too have become one, and they're supposed to be together, come the rain, the shine, geography, location, or whatever. So this physical separation requires a different approach to maintaining that relationship compared to couples who live together. Couples who live together, they even have to, the work they have to put in, even though they're always in their face, each other's faces, they still have to put the hard work, let alone long distance marriage. I bet is even more challenging. So communication, trust, emotional connection become even more critical in these situations. If you're living together, you talk 1 hour. Now, long distance, you might have to talk 3 hours just to kind of balance that relationship, such that you're not missing out on too much. But whichever way, how does that work? Because you're not in the same location. So long distance marriage has loads of challenges. Like I said, it has challenges, it has benefits, it has all of that. So I'm going to be breaking it down, such that if you're in this situation, let's kind of expand things and let's see how we can pick things up so we can still enjoy that marriage in the meantime that we are far apart from each other. So challenges of long distance marriages can include, number one, communication barriers because of the time zone and schedule. See Mary telling me it's 9 p.m. in Malawi there, and in UK he's just past 8. Emmy, you're welcome. I hope you're good. Emmy meets Mary, Mary meets Emmy. If you're there, please let's follow one another. Let's follow one another. It's a beautiful space here. Please follow one another. Thank you so much. Good evening to you. I hope you're good. It seems, the time you're still at work. I don't know if you're still at work. If you are, well done to you. So, the challenges of long distance marriage includes communication barrier, time zones and schedules. Differing time zones can make it difficult to find convenient times to connect, and this can lead to feelings of isolation or disconnection. I remembered my husband, went to the US, or the other time I went to the US, and it was like 5-6 hours apart. Just go back home now from work. Oh, Amy. So yeah, get your dinner and sit down and let's do insight together today. And I remembered, was it in the night that I got to US? I'm trying to remember, but there was a 5-hour gap that in UK everybody would have been sleeping, but I still needed to reach out, or he was calling me, or I don't even know. And as days went on, I noticed my phone will ring about maybe 3 in the morning, and I'm like, this man is not sleeping, doesn't know we're sleeping here. I'm not in UK, So imagine, just for holiday, 2 weeks holiday. And the other time he went as well, I have to do calculation. Okay, it's 12 p.m. here. Then what time would he be there? It's 7 in the morning. He might still be sleeping. Okay, I'll wait for him to call first. So you can even imagine, just 2 weeks holiday, there's chaos. How much more living there for a year, 2 years or 3 years, living so far apart. So you can imagine, if care is not taken, it will affect your communication. And things like that has to be deliberate. Miscommunication as well. So without face-to-face interaction, it's easier to misunderstand a lot of things. A lot of misunderstandings will arise, as non-verbal cues like body languages are absent. When you're together in the room and you're saying one thing and your body language is saying something else, your partner can easily see and say, this thing you're saying, you don't mean it. But even when you do video calls, there's only so much body language you can see. You see the totality of each other, so to say. It's just this photo cut kind of a thing. So miscommunication, you say one thing, your body language says another, your spouse is meaning another thing, so this can be a challenging situation where long distance marriage is concerned. Again, another challenge, and this one is, I don't know, God will have to help. Charlene, I see you. Thanks for joining. Emotional strain. In a long distance relationship, even though you guys are married, you could feel some sort of loneliness. Yeah. You could feel some sort of loneliness. The absence of a partner can lead to feelings of loneliness and emotional detachment because they're not always there. You're by yourself. You've gone to work. Where they are, they're sleeping. They're not awake. You can't wait. You just have to go about your day as well, especially when you have 5-hour, 6-hour time zone difference and all of that. Mr. Integrity, I see you. Please help share the live to your friends. So this can be particularly challenging during significant life events or crisis. So imagine you're living far apart, and in the middle of the night, all of a sudden you start feeling sweating, feeling sick and all that, and your spouse is not there to help you. So you have to manage yourself, call for help. God helping is not something serious, and if it's something, I know, mental stress as well. You would have forgotten your spouse is not there. You'll be thinking, don't they know? Oh my God, they're not even beside me. And then you have to get your phone and call for help. All of those, it's just a lot. It's a challenge. And you just feel some sort of loneliness. Or perhaps you just feel like chatting and talking, but they'll be busy at work, so you can't call. Yeah, it's exhausting to balance everything. Tell me about it. So it takes, it takes a lot from couples, living apart and trying to be a couple in that marriage relationship. It brings about the challenges, it brings about insecurity and trust issues. So the lack of physical presence may cause insecurities or doubts about the partner's fidelity and commitment. Even the couples that are living together, sometimes they'll be like doubting each other's, maybe trusting each other is challenging. even doubting each other's fidelity. I saw you with this person, what's going on there? How much more when you're living apart? I mean, you can be friends with anybody. I'm not saying you're having anything to do with that person. So imagine when you now call your spouse and like, guess what, today John did this at work. Your spouse will be wondering, this one you're always talking about John, what is going on there? So it's start creating some sort of trust issues, commitment issues, even though it's an assumption most times or sometimes, so there's a lot of challenges that long distance marriage face. And it's always good to talk about these things. Let's not shy away from it. If you're a spouse or if you're a couple in that relationship and you're just about fed up, why don't you just give each other that space to talk about things instead of brushing it aside and using that long distance as excuse for anything. No, let's talk about it so we can still enjoy that marriage where we are at. Again, another challenge, this one is very critical and very important, is financial and logistical issues. Travel costs, frequent traveling to visit each other can be expensive and time consuming, adding to financial strain in that marriage relationship. You have to maintain two houses because wherever your spouse, even if you're staying with relatives, wherever you are, at some point, you might be responsible for your own feeding. You might even be responsible for paying part of the bills and things like that. And your husband, wherever they are paying for the house, paying for the bills as well. So it will cost, financial strain. It brings that on that couple as well. And again, career and life choices, making decision about careers, where to live and where to reunite can be complex and stressful. Say, for example, this couple are living in two different continents. That's, as far as it can go. Because, you can't live on Earth and your spouse is living in Pluto. So you're living, the farthest apart is like two continents, unreasonable expectations. I know sometimes. And, two continents, different kind of maintenance. One might be more expensive than the other, and you're still trying to have one purse. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And then you're trying to, you just said, okay, this career has brought you to this continent and maybe just for a season, and before you know, you're so good at that career and it's kind of bringing promotion and it's looking like going back within the time frame you talked about is not looking realistic anymore. Don't just assume your partner should understand. These are things you need to talk about, your life's choices, because you're in each other's life for good. So you need to talk about this complex and stressful situation. Otherwise, it will strain that marriage relationship some more. And again, another challenge couples can face is social and family pressure. Hey, my people, where I come from, Africa. Hey, judgment from others, friends, families, and society might question the viability of the marriage, leading to added pressure. Can you imagine? They got married last month. The husband has traveled to America. The wife is in Zimbabwe. How do they want to do it? Hey, after maybe 3-4 months, they'll be like, Cindy, your husband is not back. They say, oh no, he's still away. They say, hey, are you sure these people are truly married? They start talking all sorts, you know what you're facing, the way you're feeling lonely, you're missing your husband, you're missing your wife, and this judgment from people, social gathering pressure is not even helping you to be okay. You're trying your best to manage the situation, and yet all you keep hearing is like words that is not encouraging. Instead of them to be encouraging you to hold on, encouraging you to be strong and things like that, rather they'll just be pulling you down. So those are the challenges couples can face when they're in a long distance relationship, marriage relationship. The family will add even more pressure. Hey, your husband has been away for over a year. Your friend Martha, she got married though. She's now carrying babies, not even just one. And then how do you manage that? That constant pressure, putting you under pressure. Please, if you're the one pressurizing this couple or this spouse, please stop it. I beg you, stop it. Encourage them, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's just how life has dealt with them and they're trying to manage the situation. If you don't have good words to encourage them, please leave them alone. Let them manage their lives as it is. I know, Mary, it's very bad. So please, if you're that friend or that family member always judging your friend, please let them be. Let them be if you cannot encourage them. The family dynamics, managing extended relationships can be challenging when one spouse is absent, particularly if there are children involved. Sometimes maybe you're living together, you got married, you're not living together with your spouse, and then your husband or whoever goes away or for work or whatever, and maybe your spouse's siblings is living with you. They now feel they're the Lord and Master in that home. They even want to start dictating to you this and this. If my brother were to be here, would you do this to me? Would you, they'll become even disrespectful because of that extended family relationship you have. So there's a lot of challenges this kind of marriage will face. However, like I said, they're still good to it. So stay tuned and listen as we go along. And also, if you have your experience you want to share with us, if you're still in that relationship and you're getting overwhelmed, I just pray that God will give you grace to be patient, to be understanding, and to work things out with your spouse. So there's strategies for maintaining a healthy long distance marriage. Oh, sir, good evening, Pastor Felix. You're welcome. Obvious, I see you. Thanks for joining. Please let's share with to our friends. Like I said, just press on your screen and share to everyone to be part of this talk today. So, how do we maintain this healthy long distance marriage? Because it's possible, and thousands of spouses will find themselves married, and then for one thing or the other, they start living apart, and it's not even just for maybe few weeks. Some might be in there for years or months even. But whichever way, it is challenging when you're not living with your spouse in the same country, and you're far apart, maybe different states, different nations, different continents, and what have you. So, how do you maintain that healthy long distance marriage? It can be maintained by effective communication. Number one, effective communication, regular check-ins, schedule regular time to talk. Now they've settled, the time difference in your time. If you had to put it in your diary, okay, at this time, from this time I can call my husband, from this time I can call my wife, because you have to be deliberate about it. Because if not, by the time you remember, it's like, oh my God, they've gone to sleep again. That's the whole day gone without you talking to your spouse. So whether daily or weekly, whichever one that suits both of you, but you need to talk about this, talk about it. Check each other's schedule. Which day do you have for off days? Because it's not, fine in a long distance, some long distance relationship, maybe at the weekend the spouse might be able to travel back home. But imagine you're in two different continents. How do you manage that? It's going to take a lot of money. I'm sure it's not something you just dabble into. It has to be planned. So you need to kind of schedule regular times to talk, check-ins with one another, to ensure ongoing connection, and to share the details of your life, what's been happening. Give each other updates. Don't say, you're always asking questions. Why you don't ask me too many questions? Because they want to know. Because if you're in the same state, at least they will see your day-to-day living. You'll be talking with one another. Oh, at work today, this and that. But because of the strain, you have to call. And then this person asking, how's your day? What's happening? And you feel, that's too much. No, it cannot be too much, because it's bad enough you're not in the same place. So give each other that room to understand, to be empathetic, to be tolerant, of each other, because you need a lot of patience with one another. Again, variety in communication. Thank God for the social media. Thank God for technology. Use different methods such as video calls, text messages, emails, and even handwritten letter to keep the communication fresh and meaningful. Imagine your spouse in another nation, another state, another country. The way they just chuck in posts through the letter box. And then you receive this letter from your husband or from your wife and saying, my dear, I've missed you. I know I can call. I've been calling, but I just feel like writing to you. that would go a long way, I believe anyways. That would go a long way. Handwritten letter from my husband, I'll be like, wow, this can even, kind of bond them some more, and vice versa, not just one-sided. Or you can send an email, use video calls, text messages, what have you, to make it, a meaningful relationship still, regardless of where you both might be staying. And again, you have to be transparent. You have to be open and honest about your feelings, your concerns, your expectations. Imagine your spouse, they've been away from you maybe almost 2 years, and you are feeling it so bad. Don't be hiding it like you have to be a strong woman or you have to be a strong man. Look, call and cry if you have to. Show your feelings, emotion, to let your spouse know that you don't know how long you can cope with this situation. Let them know. Maybe that kind of your reaction might even make each other think some more. Okay, what can we do to make sure we are together or we come together? Maybe we should plan in the next 6 months. Let's see how you can come over or I can come back home or whatever. You need to talk about these things. So be transparent, be honest, be open. If you've gone away for 6 months and by the 4th month you're looking at the situation like, hey, the way this thing, maybe it's, let's say, a job for instance, is gonna take more time. You might have to stay there for another 6 months. Don't just say, my spouse will understand, and just keep down low. Don't say anything to them. You need to prepare them mentally, emotionally, psychologically for this, because in their mindset they're counting. Once in 6 months, you are better be back in this house. But because you're not open, you're not honest, or you're not sharing anything as such, and they're just sitting there assuming you're coming back, and at the end of 6 months, you just hit them, bam, I'm not coming back until. Imagine, that is not gonna help that relationship at all. So we need to avoid allowing small issues to fester. No matter how unimportant you think, that situation or that thing is, let your spouse know. And this kind of bonds you some more. Again, another strategy for maintaining a healthy long distance marriage is building trust. It's very important. Consistency. You have to stick to your commitment regardless of the fact that you're not living together. Whether it's a phone call or a planned visit, to build reliability and trust. Don't leave room for each other to start doubting one another. I've been calling for the last 4 days. They're not picking. I'm sure they've seen my missed calls. They're not even responding. I've sent message. They're reading. They're not responding. Hey, you're creating problem for yourself. I'm telling you. So all of these things you have to do away with. Help build trust regardless of the thousands of miles that is separating you. Plan a visit. You can even surprise your spouse, It's not like you're ready to move to where they are, but you can surprise them, a surprise visit which you have planned. I mean, from time to time or as often as you can. And again, when you're talking about building trust, we're talking about reassurance. So regularly express love, commitment, and appreciation for each other to reinforce the bond and alleviate any insecurities. Oh my dear, for the last 4 days, my phone has gone bonkers. In fact, as I'm speaking to you right now, I had to manage to get a small phone. I don't know what's wrong. Call and let them know, I miss you so much. I love you so much, this and that. Not just, what's wrong? I seen 100 missed call on my, what is it? No, because they wouldn't know something is wrong with your phone. They're just assuming all sorts, and they're thinking, assumptions, they're always negative. They might be thinking, hey, what if something has happened to my husband or my wife? And they'll just be assuming also until they hear from you before they'll have that peace of mind. So you have to help reassure them, express love. Don't just feel, get hold of yourself and behave or whatever. No, it's because they love you. That's why all these feelings, and it's because they're married to you. That's why they are carrying that burden as well. And again, planning visits and reunion. These are things you can talk about as well. You can plan a scheduled visit, regular visits, depending on how far apart you guys are. If it's maybe interstate or one state to another, plan visits as frequently as possible to maintain that physical intimacy and shared experiences. You might even decide to meet somewhere else. they're living in city A, you're living in city C, and it's okay, God, on so day we're going to meet at city B. We'll meet there, maybe spend the weekend together, and then we'll go back, things like that you can do. And again, future planning, set goals for when and how you will reunite permanently. Like I said, long distance is good as long as it lasts, but it should not be a permanent arrangement. I think the other day, I don't know which gathering I was, and this person was saying the man left the woman and the children in one nation for the last 15 years, just comes and goes like that. And then people just see this woman get pregnant, have children, started with 1, 2, 3, now like 4 or 5 children, and they're still living apart. That's such a long time. That woman, I don't know emotionally where she'll be at. Even the man himself, that would have, is just going to leave a lot of room for distrust or mistrust or, a lot of chaos. It shouldn't be for that long. Long distance marriage is just for a very short period of time. So plan future reunion and how you're going to come back to each other's lives permanently. This gives both partner a sense of direction and hope. So like I said, even if it's going to be for 2 years, talk about it, plan ahead. Okay, after the 2 years, are you going to join me or am I coming back to join you? Those are things you need to look into, talk about. And again, another strategy is emotional support. Find the fact that you're not living in the same house does not mean you should cut off emotionally. There's so many ways you can still connect. Shared activities, you can engage in activities together even whilst you're apart, such as watching the same movie. You can log in together or whatever and watch the same movie, reading the same book, or playing online games together. So when you make the call, you talk about the same movie. Guess what, this and that. So it'll just be like both of you sitting in the same house and watching that movie and talking about it. Could be a book, your interests, what tickles your fancy before you got married. Those things, you can still keep them going somehow, but it has to be deliberate. It has to be intentional. Lady B, thanks for joining. Orebi, I see you. You're welcome. Please help share the live to your friends. And again, because we're all different. Every woman, even the same women, are emotional. Every woman is different to the other one. So if you feel there's a lot, another way you can cope is consider seeking relationship counseling, particularly if the distance is causing significant strain. Counseling can offer tools and strategies to navigate the challenges. I will always bring that in, and it's not something to be ashamed about, because we don't know it all. We don't have all the answers. Your spouse, even wherever they are, might be struggling, and you're struggling. It's like, instead of you fighting each other, seek counsel so that it can help you, give you strategies to cope in, just like we're doing here today, at least some of it. So I'm hoping that, by the time I finish the talk, you guys will come and share others that I've not mentioned. Then again, financial planning in a long distance marriage is very crucial. Budgeting for travel, how often you're going to travel, and how much it's going to cost and things like that. Include travel expenses in your budget to ensure regular visits don't become a financial burden. You can't keep going to America every single month. You go every month, spend 5-10 days, come back every single month. No. You and I know that economically that is not possible. Not that it's not possible, but I mean, for crying out loud, who's going to be paying for all of that trip, the tickets, and all of those things? It's going to be a burden if you don't plan it, because they don't come cheap. Traveling from one continent to another, it doesn't come cheap. So again, financial goals, work together to set and achieve financial goals, which can bring a sense of partnership and unity. So when you sit and talk about this, okay, I came the last time, so you're coming this time around. So let's check the tickets from where you are to where I am. How much is it going to cost? Oh, okay, not too bad. Let's start putting money aside for that. Or do you think we can buy the ticket now so that it's not too expensive later? That time of the year, tickets are always expensive, so you can even buy ahead and look forward to that reunion. Again, social support networks. Lean on friends and family, in as much as some of them will not help. Oh, Yuda, thanks for joining. Good evening. How are you? Help share the live, please, to your friends. So, we still have good friends, we still have good family members, but you know them. You know them because not all of them might be supportive at that time. You know the ones you can rely on. So build a support network of friends and families who can provide emotional support during times of loneliness. Some would even out of their way call on you and say, oh my goodness, how are you? I hope you're not missing your husband too much. I hope you're not missing your wife too much. Don't worry. It's just that, they will encourage you. They will even pray with you. Those are the people you need to surround yourself with. Then again, another strategy is community engagement. Stay engaged in local communities or groups to avoid isolation and keep busy. You can join a local group, maybe something you like to do, like the book club or something, in case you're feeling some sort of loneliness because you go to work, you come back, you feel lonely and all. Okay, you've talked to him, you chatted with her and all of that, and then the next day, the day after, because sometimes even the calls might be a bit overbearing when it's not when it's too much sometimes. Yeah, I can say that. So you can get engaged with community activities just to keep you going as well. So when I was preparing this, I just tried to do a bit of research. Is there any advantage to long distance marriage? And guess what, guys? I found some. So I want to share this with you, and I hope it helps as well. So in case you're the one in that long distance relationship now and you're thinking, there's no benefit, or for me there's no benefit at all, let's look at one or two and see how that relates with you, or you can also look for it in your relationship. The first one is strengthened communication skills. See, that is a benefit. So couples often develop superior communication skills as they learn to articulate their thoughts and feelings more clearly and effectively. For the fact that your spouse is not there, they don't know what is happening. So when you make the call to each other, you will talk with skills, because you really want them to understand what is happening with you, what is going on with you. So it says it kind of strengthen your communication skills, because you find the best way possible to speak to your spouse so that they will understand what you're going through. You're able to articulate very well your thoughts, your feelings. So you can imagine. So you guys become pro at communicating with one another. So another advantage is increased appreciation. My dear, I received this money. Thank you so much. I wish you were here. Lisa Mamu, hello dear. How are you too? I hope you are good. Thanks for joining Inside today. Please help share to your friends to be part of the talk. Let's share, with one another. Let's discuss about this long distance marriage if you're just joining in. So this distance can make couples appreciate their time together more deeply, even so, leading to a stronger emotional connection. It's not the same between Europe and Africa. I know it's not the same. The time zone, that time difference alone is enough stress by itself, I'm telling you. So we're even lucky. UK, I'm originally from Nigeria. UK and Nigeria at this time is the same time, but when it comes October, we're gonna change. Yeah, I know it's difficult, Yuda. We're going to change, and I think we will be 1 hour behind and Nigeria will be 1 hour ahead, something like that. It changes every March and October, every single year. So that is still manageable. But UK here now is 8 o'clock. In part of America is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can imagine, but then it just... it says that one of the advantages of the long distance relationship is it allows you guys to kind of show more appreciation to one another. Oh my dear, I know you should be sleeping by now, but you're waking up to make this call to me. I really appreciate you. I know you're tired, So it kind of helps you understand that, this is sacrificial love, sacrificial understanding, sacrificial connection at that time. And it can lead to a stronger emotional connection. Yay. So another advantage is personal growth. Both partners have the opportunity to pursue goals and interests independently, which can lead to individual growth and a more fulfilling relationship, because you're not a burden to your spouse. Even though you're living apart, you're, facing your life, you're committed to what you're doing, they are also committed, you're growing. And then when you talk about things, you're like, oh, I'm so proud of you, my dear, well done to what you're doing. I can see that, there's a lot of growth that I can see since, from you. And this kind of is a good thing, really. Not that when you call, it's like, oh, I don't know what to do, or this, you're always complaining, oh, I'm so lost, I don't know what to do. Your spouse will not have peace of mind, because they're always constantly thinking, is this person on top of their game, or do I have to constantly call in and be, so it kind of bring personal growth, because everybody on their own trying to make life, better. And again, another advantage is resilience and patience. Patience. Successfully managing a long distance marriage can build resilience, can build patience, and a deeper understanding for one another. In fact, if you're together, you're sleeping the same time, waking the same time, you might not really appreciate certain things. But when you know that my spouse is sleeping, I can't go to sleep if I don't call them. So no matter the time here where I am, I would wait up and call them. It cannot build some sort of patience. You need to have patience to not sleep and call them to make sure they're okay as well, or their day is going good. So it kind of builds some sort of patience in you, which is a good quality in a husband and a wife. And again, another advantage is testing and proving your commitment. So the challenges of long distance marriage often test the commitment of the couple, and overcoming these challenges can reaffirm their dedication to the marriage. There's a saying that out of sight, out of mind. It might be for any other person, but not for your spouse. In fact, out of sight, more in mind for long distance marriage couples, So it can't be out of sight, out of mind. No, you need to be deliberate. You need to show commitment. You need to let your spouse know that, look, despite the fact we've been apart for a year or whatever, I'm still in here. You're my wife, you're my husband. Nothing will separate us. Just be patient. In no time, we're going to be encourage one another. Encourage one another. Tell each other what you're feeling. Show love. Show appreciation for the fact that you're miles and miles away. You can send a gift via a friend to your spouse. Things like that would help that marriage to be more solid. And like I say, when we're together, sometimes we might take each other for granted. You think I want to report myself now. I'm trying to think, when was the last time I got anything for my husband apart from his birthday, which was, hey, Lord have mercy. Did I? Yeah. No, yeah, you see now, I'm trying to remember. So imagine living far away, and then you receive a parcel and it's from where your husband or your wife is. That means they're committed, they're still thinking about you. And not that it's your birthday or your anniversary or something, they just wanted to do that to let you show that they still, think about you. And this can reaffirm that dedication to that marriage. So guys, I'm about rounding up now, and I want us to come on. Let's talk about this. What other challenges you feel a long distance marriage face, especially when you think it's for a short period of time and now it's extended to a year, 2 years, and even more. Lord have mercy. So my conclusion is that long distance marriages are challenging. Whether interstate, same states, same nation, or whatever, as long as you're not living together and under the same roof as husband and wife, it's going to be challenging, but they are also an opportunity for growth and deepened connection if you work at it. It is, Mary, challenging indeed. So by prioritizing communication, building trust, and maintaining emotional and physical closeness, couple can not only survive the distance but also thrive in their relationship. You have to keep the fire burning. Yeah, Ismail, thanks. You just came in with all the fire. Thanks for joining. So the key is to approach the situation with intentionality. You have to be intentional with patience and a commitment to making the relationship work despite the miles in between you guys. So with love, with trust and effort, a long distance marriage can be as fulfilling as and as successful as any other marriage. And that is where I'm going to hang the talk today. But guys, know that it's meant to be for a short period of time. Oh, thank you, KMBV. A short period of time, not for a long time. Not like the one I mentioned earlier for 15 years. The man was going, coming, having baby one, baby two, baby three, baby four to baby five. And there's no talk about plans, how they will come back to live together. That is not good at all. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for the gift. I really appreciate that. So my one question that we can talk about, and of course whichever perspective you want to look at it, please feel free to come on board and share with us. How long would you advise a married couple to live apart from each other if they have to, if they really need to? How long do you advise for them to be apart for? So I really want to hear from you today. Thank you. Ify, thanks for coming. Thanks for liking the live. So, just a breather. Maybe I'll sip of water. Yes, guys. If you're just joining, you're welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal. And we've been talking about I've been talking about long distance marriage, the good, the bad, the ugly of it. And if you want to share with us, please, we'd love to learn from you. Peradventure, you're in that situation right now. How have you been coping? And what is working for you and what is not working? Please come share with us so that we can learn. For me, I think for about, was it 3 or 4 years, I lived like that. I was in one nation, my husband was in another nation. He was shuttle and calm, and it wasn't those years. I'm like, at some point I said, you know what, we have to talk about this. When do you see yourself coming here to settle and stay with us and all of that? Because it was initially we thought, okay, after you settle down, it's like, okay, what next after this? Is this what we're going to be doing? And then it's such a long drive, the what's it called now, the transportation and all of it was just too much. And then I'm like, no, we can't do this. All the children, they're boys, they need their father, all this talk and talk. So after about 3 years plus or so, we eventually had to come and stay and settle. So imagine we don't talk about it. I am miserable, I'm just hanging in there and all of that. I don't know where we would be today. But these things have to be talked about. We can't just sit and assume. I can't just sit with the boys and assume, oh, he's coming next month, or he's coming, and then he comes, I feel, oh, are you here to stay? And he's like, no, I'm just visiting. No. So you can imagine, we don't want to leave each other assuming what is not. So we have to verbalize these things. So how long do you advise a married couple to live apart from each other? If they have to. I want to hear from you. So let's see who is on there. Let's see who's going to start us off today. It's a very crucial talk. People are living it. People are going through it. And some are finding it funny. Some are not finding it funny. Some are finding it very challenging. Some newlyweds, they just found themselves in this situation. I'd love to hear from us, guys. Let's hear what is our take on this. How long do you think a couple should live apart from each other for? How long for? Because before it becomes unbearable, or before it becomes a struggle with them. Hey, I really want to hear from my pastor today. I hope he comes in. Mary, how are you? I hope your network is good today. Yay! Somebody's here.
I'll be deliver a message for you. As you not pay for.
Okay.
How is that?
Hello, Pastor Felix.
I am great.
How are you, sir?
Amen. Amen.
It's good to. Oh.
Amen.
you, God, for Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
So let's meet him whilst we wait for others to join. Good evening, Pastor. Thanks for joining. I'll wait for you to finish with your call, sir. Thank you. Azu, I see you. Thanks for joining. Let's hear from us today. What do we think about this long distance marriage? Is it advisable? Would you advise your brother, your sister to engage in it? Or if they found themselves in it, how would you encourage them for however long they have to, stay apart for? What would you advise them? What would you say to them, to keep them going in that time, that they found themselves living apart because they're now married, two has become one, or because of geographical location, because of career, because of a lot of some people marry military personnel and they have to be deployed to one state or one nation, or things like that. Army officers with their spouses, I don't know how they cope. Even the other way round, some women go to war, or they join the army force, or whatever you call them, and the husband is at home with the children, and they don't know when they're going to come home. Sometimes they know and then they push it forward. Oh, they're not coming again. You can imagine the strain on the spouse, or on both of them, even on that marriage relationship. How do they cope? How will they cope? And then especially they don't know how long it is going to be for. That is quite challenging. It sounds very, very challenging. How do you reckon they can cope? Mary, how are you? Let's hear from you today. It's been a while.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for coming in. I know the time changed. It's just because of all the busyness of life and just
No, I understand.
yeah. You're
I
welcome.
understand. I noticed last week you sent an invite like 9 p.m. Malawi time. I'm like, yo, I
Oh,
was already in bed.
oh, I see. Yeah, well, you can
So
relax
now as
and
I'm talking, I'm in bed as well. But I'm like, no, let me try to push maybe up to 10.
oh,
It's almost 10 here.
thank you so much. So, what's your take on this topic? I don't know if it's something you experienced before as well.
Yeah, not necessarily myself, but I've seen people in long distance marriages, so to say. It's challenging. It's not that easy. But then, as you're putting it, to say communication is paramount. I agree in that, and I can't say more on it. Because if there is no communication, I mean, you leave your friend in doubt, you leave your friend with so many questions without answers. You could be busy, which is a normal busy schedules, but then one could be wondering to say, okay, he doesn't even think about me, but he's somewhere far, maybe he's with someone else, all those kind of dirty thoughts that might be coming, yet
Assumptions, yeah.
in true sense, the person is busy with the normal things, but it's good just to tell your colleague, just to tell your spouse, to say, you know what, I'm busy this time. And the other thing is, know the schedule, as you're putting it, know the schedule of your friend. Yeah, especially with
Of your
different.
friend, of your husband, of your wife. We're
Yeah,
talking about marriage relationship.
yeah. So that's what I meant to say. Your friend, okay. Some of us, we take your husband, your wife as your number one friend.
Okay.
But I listened to someone who was telling me to say, your husband is not your friend, your wife is not your friend, your wife is your wife, and your husband is your husband. You have to differentiate the two. So I don't know which is which. But then I was saying, you have to know the time of your spouse. To say, if I call this time, it could be busy, or he is in office, or he's busy with the customers, or was doing his business. But then there are some times, much as you know the time of your spouse, there are some urgent things that you still need to communicate. Much as the thing is out of the schedule, you still have to.
Very true.
You know, because if that bounces back and say, no, I didn't just want to bother you, your friend will be like, okay, so is that bothering me? Or, there are some things that are urgent. We know we do communicate in different times, but then some of these are, you, you just have to, but yeah, but it's really challenging. It's really stressing. It's not easy. It takes people that do understand each other quite well, and of course, it needs the help of God.
Oh,
Because even if you can
most
say,
definitely, most definitely.
yeah, because even if you can say you do understand your friend, but then when someone is not nearby, it's really difficult to understand.
Wow.
Because you work on you always work on assumptions.
And most times it's negative, really.
Negative. As I already mentioned, to say the moment he doesn't respond to your call, oh, okay, he doesn't want to answer my call. Okay, what is he busy with?
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
know? Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know.
Thank
I don't
you.
know.
Thank you for that. Communication is key. Communication is key. Just Bevy lady, I hope I'm right. You're welcome. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Good evening.
I hope you've been following the talk so far, and we want to hear what your take on this topic, long distance marriage.
It's a good topic, but I'm very sorry. I'm just passing by and I've seen that you have sent me the request, and I don't want to reject it. Just say hi.
It's all right. Thanks for joining. But
Thank
you can talk
you.
about it. It doesn't matter. I mean, just like the topic implies, how long would you advise a couple to stay apart for? In a marriage relationship for whatever reason.
Mausi yeah. Please, can you come again?
Some people they get married, they are officially married, maybe because of work or because of better life. Once one of the spouse will have to travel out or travel far away, but they're still in that marriage relationship. So, how long would you advise them to stay apart for so that there won't be trouble?
According to my imagination, if one is not there, and maybe the opportunity comes for the other to come and pick to come and take the other, I think that one will be better than one to be there, that maybe the other one will just go and be visiting. You see, if you marry in the Africa, our in our culture, if you married, everybody is expecting a child from you.
Oh,
So
yes.
that is also one topic that the two of them at least have to have to talk about it, so that they know how they may plan it. But you see, everybody with his or her own mind. There are some, if they go and it is good for them, they will not think back home. They will just change their mind and do whatever they like. But for me, like this, if the communication is there and the very trust is also there, I can wait till, for me, that is me. I can wait till. I'm very sorry because of my baby girl.
No, it's fine. We can hear her.
Okay. So for me, at least, yeah, if you see, if the person, one that travel goes on the right way, I mean, is through papers. Some people may go without documents, I mean. So if it happens like that, it might take maybe a quite long years before the person can get, yeah, before the person can get the documents. We all know in Europe how, or other countries, how it is. But if through work or through school, and the person have documents before he or she went there, then at least by two, person have documents before he or she went there, then at least by 2
So she, well, just a bevy things, maybe 2-3 years, depending on if it's education that's taking them out, or maybe even work. 2-3 years. Okay, maybe it's manageable because the is okay. Thank you, manager, for meeting. Stories we hear every day on the news. The husband is gone, he's been gone for 3-4 years, or the wife is gone for 3-4 years, and then before you know, you don't even know whether you're married anymore. You try to reach them, maybe their number has changed. We don't want that. That is not a healthy marriage relationship. Even though you found yourself in this long distance, I mean, you shouldn't let distance actually be in the way, because I mean, you're married now. You have to be responsible for each other. You have to be accountable to one another and be there, in that marriage, reassuring each other. I mean, we have to be hopeful. We have to be hopeful, whatever the situation is. And then you can try to project together. Okay, this is what you found out. Oh, okay, all right, Mary. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night rest. I really appreciate your journey. Thank you. Yeah, no. It's just past 9 here. It's a 1 hour difference. It makes some difference. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I have Miss Florence. Miss Florence, before I bring you up, I just want to go to my puzzle quickly because of time so that people can start thinking about it. My puzzle, like I said, I brought it last week and nobody was able to get it. So I'm going to put it out there again today. And it says, what kind of tiles, when you're building your house, you're putting tiles. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? What kind of tiles? There's a name of the tile I'm looking for. If you get it, you get the gift for today. Otherwise, I will keep my... Please don't run away. You don't have to answer the puzzle, but I'm just putting that out there. So what kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? I need to know what kind of tile. If you know it, you come up. If not today, I'll just tell us the answer before I leave here today. And still talking about this topic, long distance marriage. People find themselves in this. Some people, they plan it ahead, it happens. And some people, it just happens, whilst in that marriage relationship. Like I said, it could be for better life, better prospects for your family. And then at that point in time, maybe it's one person that can go to another nation or to another country or whatever the situation may be. And they just find out that, oh my God, before they realize this is a long distance marriage, 1 month, 2 months, it doesn't look like they're coming back anytime soon. So how long do we reckon that this distance should be for, so that, that marriage can still be enjoyed, so that couple, they're still intact in their marriage and not allowing that distance to kind of break them down? Oh, thank you, manager, for putting the puzzle up there. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? So this is our talk for today. I just want to hear from us, what's our take on this? Some may say for as long as possible after the talking, the husband is visiting, the wife is visiting, they should be fine for however long. But then is that healthy? Would they know each other enough, like a husband and wife truly who are living together? Imagine husband and wife living together for 15 years. I mean, there's a level of deepness that relationship will go to. And imagine another couple for 15 years, they've been living apart, just visiting and going and coming. So they're going to be two different relationships. And don't get me wrong, even the one coming and going might even be better off than the ones who are together. You never can tell. Irony of life. So I want to hear from you. What is your take on this long distance relationship? Because we want to learn from each other. And thank you so much, Just Baby, for your contribution. Thank you, Mary. I know you have to go and sleep now. Thanks for popping by. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, I want to hear hear from you. Please send an invite so I can bring you up and hear your opinion about this topic today.
Bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life.
Because the thing is, by the time I say, okay, we're rounding up and all, then people will start coming. So there's only so much extension I can even give today. It's always good, to talk about some topics in such a space so that, everybody can learn. People are in different kind of relationships out there. Some people, like I said, find themselves in long distance. They never plan for it. But as life will bring its thing, they found themselves in it. It shouldn't be the end of the marriage. For the fact that you're going thousands of miles away from your spouse really should not end that marriage. And who knows, if you plan things together in the nearest future, you can join your spouse wherever they've gone to or they traveled to. Or if it's your spouse who's finished, maybe it's a study, they finished study and they're ready to come back home. But whilst you guys are living apart, what do? How do you maintain that marriage relationship? How do you make sure that, you're still committed to one another? How do you make sure that you're still connected physically, emotionally, in all the leads you can think of? Because it could be quite challenging. And then you find out that out of sight is becoming out of mind, which shouldn't be. Your spouse, will seldomly pick your phone calls or might even say, why are you always calling and all of that. But because you're not together, thank you so much. I can't even read your name because it's in your language. Well, thank you so much for the gift. Joyce, you're welcome. I want to hear from you, Joyce. What's your take about this long distance marriage? How long should a couple be apart for? I mean, before it becomes a problem, how long do you reckon? Okay, ideally, maybe 2 years is okay, or maybe just 1 year is okay, or maybe 6 months, I don't know. Omotala, thanks for joining. Send an invite. Let's hear your take about this topic today. Thank you. I've been inviting Jean. I don't know, maybe you're aware you can't speak, but you can type on the screen and I can read your comments out. I might not be able to add flesh to it because, I will try, but let's hear your comment. I don't mind. I'll read it out. Yeah, thank you. So, long distance marriage. I gathered there's some advantage to it, which I wish somebody who is going through it can come and share. Is it truly an advantage? Because there's so many kind of researches, out there that says a lot. Sometimes I wonder which set of people, did they have this survey with that answered all the questions to determine that, there is benefits. I wonder. But it says the benefits of long distance marriage can include strengthened communication skills, lets you express yourself more because you're trying to help your partner understand where you are at, what's happening with you, what's going on with you. So you learn to talk clearly, you learn to talk, with your feelings and all. And then it says it allows couples to even appreciate each other some more because you will miss each other. So when you're on the phone, you have to call to say, I missed you so much. Oh, thank you for the money you sent, or thank you for the gift, I received it, or thank you for going to visit my mom, my dad, or whatever the situation is, which is quite good as long as you keep the communication going. It says, it helps couples to appreciate each other better. I don't know, but it says so. Paris, thanks for joining. How are you today? I hope you can speak where you are. Let's hear your take about long distance marriage. Do you think it's ideal for couples to be apart for so long? Maybe because of work or school or whatever the reason may be. Thank you for joining. Paris, I don't know if you're aware you can speak. I'd love to hear your take on this topic. How are you? You have to unmute. We can't hear you. Never give up. Thanks for joining. Please send an invite. Let's hear your take about this. Oh, thank you so much, manager. Thank you. Yeah, could be work, could be school, could be anything that has, come your way and it requires you guys living apart. That means there'll be some financial implications into that. You're living in city A and your spouse is living in city B. And then, of course, you're living in a house, you might have to maintain that, pay for it. And your spouse, where they're living, they have to maintain, pay for it. Even if it's with a relative or something, you might have to still contribute financially towards it. And this can take a toll on your financial commitment to one another. Really, okay. Let's see if this person will come up. So, Paris, I don't know why you're not on meeting to speak. I want to hear from you. PBS Products, good evening to you. How are you? I'm trying to bring you up. Let's hear your views about this topic. And then one of the other advantage that it talks about, that it builds kind of resilience and patience, because you have limited time to spend together, because you're in different time zones, different countries. So you appreciate the little time you're able to speak or do your video calls or whatever. You learn to appreciate that. You learn to be patient enough to know that, okay, my husband is working now. I know I need to sleep, but I will wait up till, he wakes up just to hear his voice or hear her voice before I go to sleep. So you have to be patient with one another, because what they're going through where they are is not what you're going through. So you have to still be there for one another, such that, that connection is still intact. Paris, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you sleeping? I can see you. Are you trying to sleep, or are you sleeping or what? Good evening. How are you? You're good? I'm not sure you're hearing me. Can you hear me, Paris? Oh, okay. I'm not sure whether he's hearing or not, but it's okay. Thank you for joining Insight. I appreciate that. So, long distance marriage. Guys, my puzzle is still up there. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? What kind of tiles? If you know the answer, let's hear from you. TJ, oh, you're on the streets of TikTok tonight. You are welcome. I hope you can come up and speak about this topic. One or two people, have given their submissions. They also talked about they have to keep the communication going. If not, there might be a bit of strain in that relationship. And then I just want to hear, really, for how long do we reckon couples should live apart from each other for, before it becomes like a problem or a challenge altogether? Because living apart as husband and wife is quite challenging by itself. So how long do you reckon, is safe for that couple to still be okay? Otherwise, anything more than maybe 6 months or a year, you're asking for another kind of life's trouble, so to say. What is your take on this? TJ, you're welcome. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well. Good evening, my dear sister.
Good to see you. Good to see you here. So I don't know. I see you just came in, but I don't know if you've been and you've gone. But I'm talking today about long distance marriage. We've talked about the good side, the bad side, the ugly side. And my main question that I've thrown out there, you can answer the question or you can bring it from your own perspective. It doesn't matter. We just want to hear from you. How long would you advise a married couple to live apart from each other for, if they have to, before issues of life start happening, or before they start disconnecting emotionally and physically and all of that? So I don't know what your take is on this.
My take is, unless they have to, what God has joined together now, let no man put us under. If you're married to someone, you're supposed to cleave to them and, be together, right? But in some cases, you find that maybe due to, uncontrollable circumstances, people have to be separated for a while. And if there's nothing to stop them from seeing one another, I would say see your couple, see your husband, stay in the same place with your husband now, and stay with your wife. But if things like maybe issues of immigration or people are working somewhere else, then as often as possible, you need to see each other, because the Bible says we shouldn't give any room for the devil, right? We're human beings, right? And we're social animals. And the fact is that if you don't see somebody for a long time, after a while, it doesn't matter who it is, they start to fade gradually in your memory. So proximity is important when it comes to relationships in general. And this is not just husband and wife. If you look at this from the perspective of even having friends, your best friend in secondary school, yeah, if you haven't seen them since then, I'm sure you're not really best friends anymore. so not to talk of your wife, with all best intentions and good intentions, if you don't see people all the time, if you don't maintain relationship with a level of proximity, and closeness and physical contact, emotional contact, social contact, you're going to grow apart. Because even in our relationship with God, if we're not constantly feeding that, what you don't feed, what you starve dies. Right? So if you starve your relationship with your spouse, you starve the physical contact, it will all add up and affect the relationship. So I don't recommend it at all. But that people find themselves in situations that are beyond their control. In those kind of situations, then you use the most available option and channel to keep that relationship and to keep that that closeness, that intimacy going. So i.e. you do these days, you can do video calls, you can do Zoom, you can do a lot of different things these days, but it is not recommended for husband and wives to be apart. In any case, if they're doing life together, to be honest.
Oh wow, thank you. But you said one thing which is profound. Sometimes couples will find themselves in this, and I don't know if it was just Baby that mentioned it could be maybe because you have to go abroad and study or go somewhere else to study or for work. You just find life throwing this at you, and you both decide, okay, for the good of this family, you can do it. So if they find themselves, I understand your perspective to it. So ideally, would you say, okay, a year should be okay tops, or 2 years, or 6 months? Do you have?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to put a time frame to it, because it depends on the circumstance. If somebody, for example, if you're in the same country and somebody is studying, say in Manchester, in the UK, and you're in London, there's nothing saying that stopping you from seeing each other, every weekend maybe, or even bi-weekly. And if there's an urgent need for you to really see each other, you're within commutable distance to see each other. But if somebody's in Afghanistan and you're here, that could be a bit of a challenge to just get up and leave, right? Depending on, but it cannot be the best option. You have to understand that is not always the best thing for any relationship. So bearing that in mind, my advice is, as often as possible, you see each other. And so to put 6 months, 1 year, it depends. Some people can't do without their wives for 2 weeks. They're dying already.
Tell me about it.
And some people can't do it. Husband and wife can have a mutual understanding that, she can maybe she's a doctor, she works nights all the time, and you don't even get to see each other for a month. But some people can do that, some people can do for 2 months. It totally depends. But you have to monitor the situation and monitor the relationship, so that you can see red flags when they're beginning to show up, right?
Oh yeah, because it's like, thank you for. One has to be careful for the fact that you're both You're flesh and blood. Hey, you are flesh and blood. God helping you. There's this kind woman at work who's always bringing food,
Wow.
always bringing food, always caring for you. Before you know, it's like they are almost taking the space of your spouse. And before you know, you start confiding in them. Before you know, they'll pat you on the back, and you know what can happen thereafter. So we need to be mindful. We cannot allow, to open the room for the devil because, like I said, we're flesh and blood. And hope deferred, as they say, you don't see this person, you get home, it's an empty house. By the time you come back, they're gone. By the time you're gone, even some people, they live together. But
I was about to say that.
they are in a long distance relation. I'm telling you.
I was about to say that, the example you gave about somebody at work and somebody giving you attention. There are even couples who live in the same house, but they're not that close. You understand?
Yeah.
And somebody's giving giving the spouse some sort of attention at work, and stuff like that's going on at work, and you're still sleeping on the same bed. You understand what I mean? So if that can happen, how much more when you then travel and you're out of sight and out of mind? So it just highlights the importance of
it takes a lot. In fact, you know us at least. I remembered many years back when I worked with a particular company, let me not mention, we sat down and said, okay, the best thing, I will do night and you will do day, so that we can even save money on childcare. Because, imagine childcare if both of you go 9 to 5 and all of that. So I will go do night. He will sleep at home with the children. So when I come back, he's gone off. And there's some times that because of traffic, those early morning rushing, I'll be trying to drive and get home in good time. And then, of course, he had to leave because he will be stuck in the traffic as well. And then it's on the motorway. There's a particular road. We'll just say, Papa, Papa, wave. So you can imagine that. And I know that by the time he gets home, we'll just be talking fast. I have to go because I need to go to my night shift. And we did that for so many years. My goodness, I said I will never in my life do night shift with anybody. Never, because no, it was too much. Fine, we saved money on childcare. We were there with the children, but it just like passing the baton and going like that. And then it's only on weekends, and before you know, we have to go to church. One meeting before you know, Monday is here. Imagine, I start work Sunday night at 11 p.m. So even the Sunday, if you don't finish early in church and go home to spend time, or you might even have a gathering with other friends, before you get home, I'm just changing quickly, I have to go. That life, it was like a long distance relationship, if I can put it that way. But imagine now living one in America, one in Africa, or one in UK, another in Africa, and all of that. And you don't want to keep the communication going. You're opening your marriage up for a lot of things. Fine, I know, life happens. Maybe it's not something you have talked about, and now you're in the marriage, you just have one child, and then an opportunity come, your husband gets a job in America and he has to go physical. Who doesn't want progress? You must say, okay, we'll talk about it. Okay, you will go. Even you just even go. You settle down and then we'll come over. And before you know, story upon story. Oh, you can't come now because of this, because of that. Oh, I still love you because of this, because of that. One day you now do video call. You now see one alake behind your husband in the room. It's not funny, but it's funny. And then you're wondering at this time of the day, who is this person? I said, oh, it's just a work colleague brought this file to your house, in your room. We watch these things even sometimes on movie and we laugh and we joke, but these are people's reality. So what are we saying in essence? If you're in a long distance relationship, one of the things I started with is it has to be for a very short period of time, because the way God has designed marriage, he didn't design it that way. In my Bible of reading all these years, I never saw where Adam was living in Eden and Eve was living in Jordan. I don't know how that would have worked if that was the situation. And I mentioned of a case, 15 years, this man will come and go, impregnate the woman, go, impregnate and go. 5 children, 15 years, and he still has not thought of how to whether come and join the family or bring them all together to where he is. And people are saying this woman is complaining, she's tired emotionally, she did. Why won't she be? Knowing that we women, we are emotional being, we carry our emotions on our sleeves. So I don't know how they even did it for that long. So if you find yourself in a long distance marriage, I'm not talking of boyfriend girlfriend, this is marriage, you have put a ring on it, and now you found yourself in that situation, you need to talk about things so that you don't open yourself up to temptations and infidelity and all of those things. So thank you so much again. How are you today? Good evening. Well, if it's evening where you are, thanks for joining Inside. We'd love to hear from you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think I just rather listen and enjoy the conversation.
You leave me to be talking. I don't mind talking, but I really want to hear from us. Because on Insight, I have insight. I bring the topic. I give my talk. I don't know if you heard any part of the talk at all. And then, try to hear from other people's perspective as well. But if you don't have anything yet, but still stay there. And like you say, as you're listening in, maybe one idea or two might pop into mind.
Basically, I think I've heard you speak, and I've heard somebody else speak, and I think I just don't want it to sound like tautology, just having a repetition, because some of these things, by the time you're also making a discussion, you find out that you're just running around circles. I mean,
I haven't covered it all, though, Ola. I haven't covered everything. Or maybe you want to start with the question. Maybe the question is, how long would you advise a married couple to live apart from each other for, if they really have to? Good evening,
usually
ma'am.
I'll particularly just say that each person has to look at his own peculiar situation and use that to be able to determine if the long distance relationship is really worth it or not. Because there's some people that have some peculiar situations, and then they will know even right from the onset that once the man leaves, I mean, the man is just gone for good, and yeah, there's situations like that. So, and there's situations where we find out that, once the man leaves, after a period of time, it's important for the woman to also join the man. So I think basically and then I heard you mentioning that, I mean, there are people that they can't just help for the fact that they're going to keep apart for a while. There are few situations like that, because there are times that these people, a lot of people just criticize people's situations. They don't even know the peculiarity of their situation. So it's always important to be careful about how you criticize, because you don't know, you're not in their shoes. I mean, so you don't know why they're staying apart for that long. So I think it's important for people to just as much as possible, because like you said, God has made man and woman to be together. And I think that the farther the man and woman is apart, the more they are both vulnerable to, in their marriages. So I think as much as possible and as best as possible, it's better for you to look for ways that you can just try to look for that word.
To still live life, I guess, to stay together. Yeah.
As much as possible. And I think it comes in the line of planning. It comes in the line of planning, because I think that if you take your time, because for example, like I see people while trying to relocate to Europe and other countries, they're always in a hurry to do that. And because they're in a hurry, you find out that one person has to go before the other. But if they can just be a little bit patient, maybe they think they want to go in the next year or year and a half, they can plan much better and see how they can both, plan better with themselves, and then both of them and with the family can move. So, especially, I think it's not the best for me, if you ask me. It's not usually the best, because, like I said, both people are vulnerable to in their marriages, and especially when you are in a place like Europe, and you know what I'm talking about for those who are here. Yeah, especially when you're in some seasons, which are So I think that marriage is meant for couples to be together, to plan together, to stay together with the children, and then you see couples too that relocate abroad and they leave the children for a while home, and then they see after 1 year they just come and pick them up. So you see different kind of things. So, but I think that people just have their situations, and then you have to just be careful of how you plan that. But on the long run, just try, like you mentioned and advise, just try and push forward and make sure that as soon as possible, you try and make sure that you bridge this gap, and try. But some men don't want it. Some men just want their wife to just stay there because the intentions that they have. Because some also have ulterior intentions, and we know about these things at times. So I think they just want it that way. So yeah, that's just the tidbit I have to say for them. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And I even appreciate the fact that you're a man and you made that statement. Some men don't want their spouse to come over because of hidden agenda, which is not a healthy relationship then. It's not. The truth of the matter is you're married, to this person. I mean, sometimes we forget that they are flesh and blood like us. Even when you have hidden agenda, imagine your spouse still having hidden agenda. Where does that leave that marriage? So we don't even want to unnecessarily open up ourselves to all sorts, And then the moment infidelity, let me nail it on the head, infidelity comes into play, that would change the dynamic of that marriage, if not forever. So we have to be careful. I know of a couple, they were newlyweds, who even left. Okay, I think it was the wife that left first for one of the European countries. And they when he tells you the plan, they had a plan that this and this and this. Okay, we're going to give each other, since we're young, we're not having any children until we both are in one nation settled. So they made plans. Okay, you go do your masters, you go do this, you go do that. And then off the wife went, and the man was back in Africa doing work and all of that. And he was supposed to go to where she was, but they tried and tried and tried. It wasn't working. And then he managed to go to another European country. And then whilst he was there, of course, they were communicating, they will visit one another. But then they're still not living together, even though they're married. And at the end of the day, they were stuck in that nation. Each nation, both of them were, and they tried to plan other things. Okay, maybe we'll do this avenue, because when you don't have your papers again, that's another restraint. Your visa has expiry dates and what have you. If you come for masters 2 years in UK or whatever, when you finish, you have to go back, except you know how to work your way or whatever it is. And then, things started lingering on. And then when I ask, oh, how is your wife, or how is the news is not good. It's like, I don't know why this is what we planned. Now they've changed the plan. They this and that. Anyway, to cut the long story short, they've gone their separate ways. And I said, well, it's not good, because I hate divorce or, separation even. I mean, they've just gone their separate ways because this person has their own agenda. Oh, now in Europe, you've seen a lot. Our lives can be this. Let's do this, and then it's like you're deviating from our plan. This is a plan so that we can stay together in the same nation and start having children and living our lives. But you've gone ahead to do what you feel that. So it just broke them apart, and both of them living their separate lives, So what are we saying? We need to be careful. For the fact that you put a ring on it, long distance, if not well managed, can actually break that marriage up. And everyone has been saying the same thing in and out somehow. Is communication. And TJ also mentioned, if you don't communicate with me, I will sit down and be assuming all sorts. I will sit down and it will not be positive assumptions, I'm telling you. Because you love them, you miss them. You start thinking, oh, you called today, they didn't pick. You don't know something is wrong with their phone. There was no way they could reach you or whatever. Or they even sent email, but you don't open your email, so you wouldn't have seen the message. There's a whole lot of dynamics to it. If not well managed, can actually break up that relationship. And we know I am not one for marriage breakups. I know it's not really for the weak at heart. I'm telling you, you know your husband, if he turns this way in the night and he doesn't touch you, he will wake up. Where's my wife? You're not telling him you want to go for 6 months. You want to kill this man. God helping you. He's the type that's like, no, I can't do this. And sometimes some spouse will open up outright. It's not for me. I know I cannot deal. So that's where compromise will have to come in. That's where patience will have to come in. That's where a lot of communication has to come in, because this is two lives trying to become one. It's not always easy. You never, not all the time, see eye to eye about every single thing. Sometimes you want to have your way, he wants to have your way. Sometimes it's hard to even reach a compromise. It says if you are doing 6 months, we're doing it together, baby. That's funny, but in general, good evening to you. I really want to hear from you. Maybe you can add a bit of flesh to that submission. So be honest and be open in your conversation, my dear. FunmiRoyal, I cannot stay a month without you. So if you're going, let us plan how we're going to go together. And then you have to state your case or plead your case or whatever, because better safe than sorry. Sometimes opportunities, may come. It's not every opportunity you might be able to go for at that time. It may seem like a loss, but then trust me, in the long run, you will look back and say, thank God we didn't make that move. If not, maybe this is what would have happened to us. I'm sorry, I wish I can join, but I'm just on my way back from. Okay, all right, Papi, thank you so much. At least I can read your comments out. Thank you. I hope work wasn't too stressful today. So, guys, we still have a few minutes before I finish today. And my puzzle, I don't know who wants to attempt my puzzle. If not, I will have to tell us the answer today, because I had to bring it from last week. So, what kind of tiles did Jesus argue about? I don't know if TJ should answer this. Please, maybe you should answer, because you might. So, what kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his house? What kind of tiles, tiles, did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? There's a name to the tile I really want to hear. So if you want to answer the puzzle, please feel free, so you get the gift for today. Otherwise, I will tell us the answer and I'll keep my gifts till another time. So thank you so much, Ola, for your contribution. Just Bevi, I thank you so much for your contribution. TJ, I really appreciate that contribution. Please feel free, if you still want to add one or two things, please feel free to unmute and let's hear you. Otherwise, like I say, you know me, I will. Oh, sorry, Papi, I had to press that again, but never mind, it's fine. So the puzzle, bring the puzzle on. Yeah, I brought the puzzle on. Manager, if you're still there, help me retype or repost the puzzle. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? What kind of tiles? I'm looking for a particular tile, so if you know, please let me know. So the topic today is long distance marriage. Long distance marriage. When I was trying to prepare for the talk today, when I came across the benefits of long distance, I've gone through it before, but it's just like, is there benefit to it? Because I'm not sure there's benefit to it. In as much as it sounds very overwhelming, because you just see husband and wife apart, what benefits can that be? You said Jesus or who? Yes. What kind of tiles did Jesus, Jesus, argue? That's it. Papi, you can see manager has put it up there, so you can attempt it if you know the answer. Ola, if you want to attempt, or just Bevi, anybody can attempt it. Try it and let's see. If you get it right, you get the gift for today. So what was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. It's amazing. I mean, yeah, finding the one the builders rejected. Oh, stones. You said the stone. Is it not stone? The stone which the builders rejected. So we're looking for tiles, not stones. If I'm right, yeah, that portion of the Bible. It's not It is stones, that one. It's a puzzle. Yes, it's a puzzle. So don't overthink it. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? He wanted a particular tile, not Italian tiles. Well, I don't know whether they even existed back then. I don't know, but yeah, what kind of tile was it? So they said one of the advantage of long distance is it helps to build resilience and patience. I don't know. I'm still a bit shaken about it, so I had to include that. Maybe just to kind of balance the talk. And then it says testing and proving your commitment to one another. You know, the challenges of distance often test the commitment of the couple. It is well, who can stand? I don't know. And it helps them to overcome these challenges because they're always, maybe since it's a puzzle, the commandments were in a tablet like tiles. Nah, when I'm laughing. No. Nice attempt, but no, foul, as my people would say. No, that's not the answer. Thank you. Well done for the attempt. You're trying, you're getting there, but don't overthink it. Because most times we tend to overthink, especially when we are Bible students. Christiana, thanks for joining. I see you. So don't overthink it. It's very simple answer, simple and straight. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors to put in his home? You know, other challenges, we talked about financial constraint. Your husband is in city A, you're in city B. Even when you have to commute to travel and see one another, it will take a toll on your finances because you have to buy tickets, buy for your transportation, whichever one. Sometimes you might have to fly out of the country to see your spouse. And you know, when you're flying out of the country, you can't do that every single month. You can't do it like you just maybe hop on a train that will go for maybe 4 or 5 hours. I don't know. Did Jesus have a home? Just thinking. That's why I say you're overthinking it. Assuming Jesus had a home back then, after he lays his head somewhere, you know, maybe he built the home for you and I. So it's a puzzle. You know what puzzles are? Yes, so puzzle, it's a puzzle. Don't overthink it. What kind of tiles? Is that name of the tile? I just want to hear. And it's love. Oh, I wish. Love, the answer is even in the Bible as well, but I won't tell you where. But don't overthink it. What kind of tiles did Jesus ask or argued with the contractors to put in his home? Thank you, love. I know Jesus is love, but that's not the answer. Thank you. Delft tiles. I don't know, I've heard of that tiles before. I'm just being theological since you mentioned Jesus. Okay, maybe when you hear the answer, it will make a whole lot of sense. Thank you, Just Baby, for attempting, but right, I'll clap for you. That's when you know the answer is right. So, but like I said, it's from last week. I'm not bringing it back, so I have to tell us. No more time, please. Okay. So I will tell us before I close in the next 12 minutes. Ceramic tiles. I had to laugh this one. Sorry. Ceramic, did you say? It's not breakable tiles. Okay. No, but you're wrong. Papi, you really want to get this. But well done. Nice attempt. Nice attempt. But no, not quite right. Thank you so much for attempting it. CJ, I'm surprised though. Our Bible students, what happened? Don't overthink it, please. But the word of God. I wish that was the answer. No. Somebody said, okay, Papi said love. I don't know who brought what was the other answer again, but no. Wow, I didn't think it would be this hard though. That means we are overthinkers. We need to relax a bit. I say that's why I bring these puzzles. Prayer tiles. Nah. You said cornerstone. I said I'm looking for tiles. Tiles Well, is it a kind of stone? But no, not cornerstone, because somebody mentioned that. No. Papi is not giving up. TJ, have you given mosaic? Which planet are you from? No, mosaic, no. You went back to the ancient landmark. Well done, Papi. No, that's not the answer. Thank you. Thelma, thanks for joining. We're just about rounding up. I mean, everybody has, said their piece about this topic. I just hope that if you found yourself, whether it's planned or you found yourself somehow life throws this at you as a couple, you know that there are certain things you have to do to keep that relationship going. However long your spouse is away for mosaic, like the laws given to the people of Israel. Oh my God, where is my Sunday school book? Oh? Papi, I have to go and bring my Bible. Go here. See assignment, my head don't. Please calm down. Calm down. You will laugh when I tell you the answer. Let's just be mindful. Let's communicate, and please don't live a life of assumption. Maybe you're trying to reach out to your spouse and they're not picking up or they're not responding. It might be due to one thing or the other. At least you know your spouse. You know your spouse better than anyone, or you're supposed to be getting to know them some more. At least you know them to a level before you say I do. Oh yeah, take your gift. I don't tire. I say okay, you want me to tell you now? You don't want to wait till the end? Okay. Everybody give up. Okay. I think I should write it. Manager, if you can write it, let me tell us. So, what kind of tiles what kind of tiles did Jesus argue about with the contractors? Biblical tiles, nah. Just baby, nah. Just give up. Biblical tiles, just give up. What kind of tiles did Jesus argue with the contractors to put in his home? Guess what? He came for us. Gentiles. Manager, help me put it there so that Papi will not explode. Gentiles, people, does it make sense? Yay! Thank you so much. What do you have to say, Papi? Yeah. It's the Gentiles. He came for the Gentiles. I thought of this. Oh, you should have just put it there regardless. So even if I say, let me give you 2 ice cream now, you have to come into the box to get the ice cream so you can cool down after thinking so much. On a more serious note, but I thought it doesn't make sense. That is good one. Oh, thank you. Oh, he argued about the Gentiles. Yeah, heartbreak. Oh, no heartbreak here. No. That's why I say, come up, let me give you ice cream. You can have ice cream so you can relax a bit. So, guys, thank you all so much for making it an interesting one today. All those names, ceramic, mosaic. Nice one, makes sense now. Okay, yes, thank you for accepting that. Guys, in it all, if you find yourself in a long distance relationship, keep the communication growing and going. Build trust, share your feelings with each other, talk about things, still do things together. You can, like I said, you can watch movie and then call and talk about it. You can read your book, or you can even go, there's I like word search and things like that. And then you can challenge each other over. Thank God for gadgets, these devices, technology. There's so many things you can still do, activities you can do together just to keep that bond going, to keep that relationship going. And above all, like I say, you have to talk. Sometimes it's just husband and wife. You might have to say sweet talks, say sweet things to one another just to keep the fire burning as well. And, plan visits. If you can, plan visits as much as you can. It depends on how long your spouse is going to be away for or away from each other. So you can plan that, okay, if it's going to take 2 years, going to take 6 months, is it possible I visit or you visit? try and work things out. Don't just assume, you should understand, I'm gone for 2 years and that's it. No. Otherwise, your spouse will be thinking you have a hidden agenda, just like Ola said, and you don't want that to start, bringing issues and straining that relationship as it is. Okay, thanks for joining in. So, guys, it's been a wonderful time, about this topic, long distance marriage. However, like I always say here, when you're talking about marriage, is an institution God created, and he designed it for a husband and a wife, man and woman, and he said they will cleave together and they shall become one. Thanks for having me. Oh, Ola, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it, and thanks for your contribution as well. Two has become one, and the only way, I know it's still death do you part, you're going to live till old ripe age and all of that, but in your youthful days, if you're married, that's when you're supposed to be building and enjoying each other's company, getting to know each other some more. And then this distance comes and it kind of strain the flow of things, but it shouldn't be the end of that marriage. That much I believe. So we have to put in the effort, put in the work, so that, we keep things going. It's not really as easy as it seems. I know. We just ask God the grace to accept the things we can't change. Yeah, it can't be forever. Papi, it can't be forever. I can't imagine living away from my husband forever. Like, I've been married 25 and a half years, and I will come out and say to you now, for the past 25 and a half years, we've been living apart and we're still married. I mean, I don't know how possible that would be. So it would happen. Every situation is different, I know. But all we're trying to say is, if possible, because the way marriage is designed for you to be together, to live together. But life happens. Fair enough. Don't let it be long. You're apart for so long, and then it starts straining your relationship, and then you start even doubting your love for one another, or you're doubting your commitment to that marriage because you're far apart. You don't want that, because if things are not dealt with amicably and peacefully, patiently, it can pull you apart rather than, helping you to grow. Mary Joy, you're just coming, we're just leaving. You're welcome all the same. Thanks for joining. Where have you been? Were you at work? I hope work wasn't too tedious. So yeah, that's about me rounding up for today. Thank you for joining, Mary. Thank you. Good one. Nice being here. I did. Okay, thank you so much, Papi. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you, your contributions, your attempt at the puzzle. So don't forget, Gentiles, you can go and, kind of puzzle somebody else, let them think a bit, and, have fun with it as well. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on Inside with FunmiRoyal today. I really, really appreciate your contributions. Thank you so much for all the giftings. I really, really appreciate that. I'll be coming your way again on Monday when I bring just general talk. Well, it might be related to marriage, but always on Thursdays, I talk mostly about marriage relationships. I will use this puzzle at work tomorrow. Yeah. Tell them whoever, they will buy you lunch if they don't get it. But you might have to buy the winner lunch too. So I don't know. Have fun with it. Enjoy. But don't tell them it's a ceramic or mosaic. Please. That was really funny, I know. For the attempt, yeah. Free lunch, exactly. Whoever gets a free lunch, have fun with it. Till I come your way on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time, talking about another interesting topic. Don't mind me, Joe. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Have fun at work. Because they say all work and no play makes papi. No, we don't want to finish that statement. We know you're not a dull boy, because all the responses here has been so funny. Thank you. So have fun at work with it as well. I'll be coming next week with another one. So if you join me, then maybe you might be able to get it. And like I say, don't overthink it. It's just a puzzle. Yes, yeah, they smell. They perceive them. It is all. Guys, I will see you on Monday. God bless. Have a lovely weekend. Remain blessed. Thank you. May Joy, have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for liking the live. I really appreciate that. Kwasi, I see you. God bless you. Manager, thank you. Just baby, thank you. My love to your little one, pulling you, mommy. And thank you, Ola, for joining. TJ, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Papi, thank you. Have a lovely day at work. I'll see you on Monday. God bless. Mary, I'll see you.